Hello.
Hi, good morning, Daniel. How are you?
I am blessed. How are you doing?
I'm very well, thank you. Very excited about today's contest. So your school is in the contest at 4 p.m.
The school.
So anyway, today at 4 p.m. you can catch in Fanspim go against St. Augustine's and Swedru. However, the day starts with Tamale SHS going against KJB Asatu and Ada SHS, and then we have KNUST SHS going against Buamponsem and Northern School of Business. So those are the contests for today. Yesterday saw Keta SHS win their contest, Oti Boateng as well, and Chemu, and so they'll be facing each other in the quarterfinals, which starts on Thursday with some very, very exciting contests. We'll be bringing you more on that as
Definitely. So your quarterfinal will be Wesley Girls at Chimota and Prempeh College.
Yes.
That's
a
also,
major one. Yes,
yeah, that's also a major one.
But we will shine through. So all the best to Augasco today. My money is on Augasco.
Your money is on Augasco.
Swedru all the way.
So
Swedru have done it before. Yeah.
Beating Augasco. So we know Swedru will definitely beat Augasco.
Yes.
As in France will carry them.
They'll excel it today.
Good morning to the morning man called Joe Yankson. Yes. All the best to you and your Augasco boys. But it's time for the headlines. Front pages.
Let's start with the graphic business. Government issues another energy bond, aims to raise 1 billion Ghana cedis. No throughput agreement, no storage. That's Senor Hosi advocating professionalism in downstream petroleum sector, and Temaport expansion to facilitate industrialization drive.
Now, the Finder is reporting this morning, stop aiding nation looters. This is the president advising lawyers there, and Indian investors explore opportunities in Ghana. Mining companies have been warned not to bid for bauxite in Atiwa Forest, and an important story on the front page, probe reports of torture of modern Ghana journalists. One Ghana movement is advocating.
And torture is on the front page of the New Crusading Guide newspaper. Torture home part 3, when Reverend Lamina steals food from orphans and sells for his personal gains. Reports of torture home, sack gender minister. She's incompetent and clueless on child rights issues, says child rights activist. Social welfare worker reacts to torture home story. Why should you destroy the good image of the home?
Now, the Chronicle is reporting this morning, armed robbers rob shrine at Mim. That's on the front page of the paper with Temaport balls over MPS deal, and the Ghana Ports and Harbors Authority workers in arms over cash cow that has been taken away. That's on the front page of the Chronicle.
You know what, that MPS deal, it's time that we take a look at it, don't you think? It looks like it's slipping under the radar. But let's look at
the Daily Statesman newspaper has MPP defers presidential primaries for 2020.
Okay.
Finance Ministry approves 1.6 billion for road works. We stand for academic freedom. That's President deflating claims about public universities bill.
Now, that story about the public universities bill is also the banner headline on the front page of the Ghanaian Times. There's our national security operatives tormented me. That's according to modernghana.com editor. And Damongo hospital nurses embark on strike over unpaid allowances. The NLA, together with VAG, they are to launch lottery to create 20,000 jobs. And that's also the front page of the Ghanaian Times.
The Daily Graphic has kidnapped leader confesses, pleads for forgiveness. Public reacts differently to first commemorative Republic Day. Fall Armyworms resurface in Northeast region. Back page of the Daily Graphic newspaper. Appear positive about win against Guinea-Bissau.
Now, the Daily Guide is reporting this morning, and well, the Kumasi kidnappers are not positive. They're actually begging, saying they are very, very sorry. This is that of the Canadian girls. And Government Paris Africa Watch report is also on the front page there. NDC Mahama fight Founders Day and Stop Val campaign. Nana to varsity detractors.
Raymond, let's start with that kidnappers begging story, which is on the front page of the Daily Graphic newspaper. A story brought to us by Emmanuel Ebo Hodgson. Says that the man who is believed by police prosecutors to be the architect behind the kidnapping of the two Canadian ladies was yesterday told the court he's pleading for forgiveness from the parents of the girls, the Republic of Ghana, and of course his home country, the Republic of Nigeria. He confessed in court to the roles that he played in the kidnapping of the 2 Canadians. This is the man police prosecutors identify as Samson Agbalo, alias Romeo. Sorry.
Hey, did you just say Raymond?
Romeo is fine.
See how he tends to look at me. So Samson Agbalo told the police that, well, he played a part in this, but he's asking for forgiveness. Let me just quote something he said in court. I want to express my sincere apology to the girls, their families, the Republic of Ghana, as well as the Federal Republic of Nigeria. I'm sure he would have said Nigeria. What is that?
Okay, so from the kidnap, we go to the threats of torture.
Yes, but obviously then that means he's Nigerian, right? Because
yes, he's Nigerian. In fact, there are 3 of them out of the 8 persons who have been arrested and have been prosecuted in connection with this. 3 of them are Nigerians. He appealed to the BNI, to the court, to ask the BNI to release him because he also alleged torture. Raymond is coming to do torture, right? He said that he's being tortured in the BNI cells. Therefore, he wanted to be released into police custody where his family can visit him. But the police prosecutor, Ms. Hilda Craig, said that no, this allegation of torture is an afterthought which is cooked up to frustrate investigations, that releasing him from BNI custody will frustrate investigations. So she pleaded with the court to detain him in BNI custody so that investigations will continue. Of course, the police also granted the prosecutors permission to publish the names and pictures of 2 other persons who are being wanted by police in connection with the kidnapping of these two Canadians. One of them is Mohammed, the other one is Derry. Police believe that they themselves have also played a part in the kidnapping of the girls. The police's case before the court is that Agbalo came to Ghana, and Raymond has brought us these facts before. He got in contact with Yakubu, then he made friends with Yakubu in March. And he told Yakubu that he wanted them to engage in kidnapping because it is a lucrative business. Yakubu agreed to help him. So he went back to Nigeria, brought 2 other Nigerians to help with the process. Then he gave Yakubu money to rent a room, buy a pistol, and then to also rent a car. These are the items that they used to kidnap the 2 Canadians.
Right, so he's claiming that he's been tortured. These other journalists also insist they have, Raymond.
Yes, we are talking about Emmanuel Abugri and Emmanuel Brichum. They are both from Northern Ghana. We know they are arrested, and we know what happened when actually they were arrested. Specifically, what they told us yesterday is that they received slaps, not less than 20 of them. So it was after every single question and the possible answer you're likely to give to it, you actually get a slap following that. They also said that they were specifically tortured with the electric shocker. So this one is ranging from where the ear is straight down to the neck and parts of the body when the people felt they needed to do so. And the indication they also give us in what they said clearly after they left the National Security's conference were that it went on for some time, and the main issue of whether or not, that they were being accused of hacking into accounts of competitor media houses, they say they did not come up at all during the National Security's engagement and interrogation on this particular issue. We do know that torture is frowned upon by the Constitution. Article 15.2 says, no person shall, whether or not he is arrested, restricted, or detained, be subjected to torture or other cruel or inhumane or degrading treatment or punishment. Already, there's a flood of response from civil society. Primpack, the private newspaper operators, the Publishers Association, are insisting that this cannot continue. This is not going to should be investigated. We've also heard from One Ghana movement that's this morning demanding an immediate investigation. They believe that the Constitution safeguards the practice of journalism, and that should be done. The Media Foundation for West Africa believes it's also embarrassing, and you heard it during the 6 a.m. news this morning. But there is a direct response from the National Security. Indeed, they say that they've taken notice of the claims by the gentlemen involved who are arrested for engaging in cyber crimes and has made claims of being subjected to acts of torture whilst in the custody of its officers. they are stating categorically that the suspect during questioning was never manhandled, neither was he subjected to any form of forced physical contact. In fact, the Secretariat is pleased that upon the suspect being handed over to the CID, the police has requested that a medical investigation will be undertaken to ensure that this happens. They want the suspect to make known, or they will make known the actual truth behind this, which will be detailed in the medical examination. They also said that today, the suspect will be put before court and charges will be preferred against them and will be made known
of cybercrime.
Yes.
My curiosity is why national security picked them up in the first place, because the police does have a cybercrime unit headed by Dr. Gustav Janssen. We've spoken to him a number of times.
The interesting part is that this was after they were reported to have actually had specific stories about National Security Minister in this particular case. Indeed, the gentlemen say that they were asked to give the details of the people who were behind this story, asked to take down 2 of these stories connected to that. The National Security makes no reference to the stories in this particular write-up that they put out there. They also do not talk about whether or not they asked them to pull it down and whether or not that's a germane issue surrounding all of this. But finally, they say they've handed them over to the CID.
We'll be speaking to these reporters today, and it will be important for us to get a sense of exactly what happened when they were in custody, from their perspective, of course. But let's move quickly to Hohoe, where the EC limited voter registration forms have been destroyed.
Yes. So there are about 150 voter registration forms of the Electoral Commission in the ongoing limited voter registration. We know that the EC has started this process, even though there were some delays. They started. Now, the registration in Hohoe was delayed for 5 hours because 150 voter registration forms were destroyed by agents of the New Patriotic Party and the National Democratic Congress. Now, there was a misunderstanding between these party agents over the registration data which had been captured and issued by the EC. There was a discrepancy. Now, because of discrepancy, a scuffle erupted. This scuffle then frustrated the process and led to a 5-hour delay.
Okay.
And in the meantime, the MPP and the NDC agents were engaged in a brawl which resulted in this 5-hour delay. And the brawl was essentially over the claims that the figures as issued by the Electoral Commission, which were in the biometric voter registration device, and what the agents had noted were fundamentally and radically different. The EC gave a figure of 200. The party agents said that they had noted just about 145. They didn't understand why the biometric voter registration data as captured by the EC on registration day had 200 when the party agents had noted only 145. So the MPP agents then challenged somebody who had come to register, challenged the person's eligibility to register. This challenge resulted in a scuffle between the party agents, and then the problem started. One Anthony Kodombiri, who is the MPP Hohoe constituency chairman, he was the one who told the Daily Graphic about the party being alarmed when they identified this. George Bright Annie Bansa, who is the NDC Hohoe constituency chairman, agreed that yes, there was a discrepancy, but the discrepancy happened only once, and that could not have been the basis for the scuffle that happened. Now, he called for the arrest of the persons behind the scuffle and the destruction of the voter registration document. 150 forms. The party agents destroyed them. Kweku Kakari, who is a Hohoe municipal electoral officer, confirmed the incident, but said it was unfortunate. It was unfortunate that this would happen because they could have resolved the issues. When the scuffle happened, the EC have now decided that they will bring out the voter registration devices from a room where they were conducting the registration, so that the registration will now be conducted in an open space for purposes of transparency and accountability, so that nobody will have any fears that any person is up to any gimmickry.
Of course, it will also be necessary to get some extra security there, so that it's something like that, if it comes up, does not degenerate into destruction of materials. But let's go to Damongo now. I heard the hospital nurses there are on strike.
Yes, yesterday it was a very terrible spectacle when people had come from so many other places. You know, the Damongo hospital currently is one of the biggest hospitals in the Savannah region as we speak.
Okay.
And districts actually send people there. They refer patients to this institution. What happened was that the nurses said they were not going to work because they had some form of agreement that the hospital was to pay a 10% basic salary allowance due starting from January 2019. They believe that since the beginning of the year, this has not been complied with, and that is why they needed to put down their tools. They say they've tried other means to get the monies paid, but it was not paid in this particular case. So so many people who had to go back, look for other alternatives. Others have to travel miles to go and find other alternatives with serious conditions. We have not been told whether anybody lost their lives, which would have been extremely terrible, because we cannot play with the lives of patients in any other grouping in this particular country in any form.
And even if there hasn't been any loss of life right now, the conditions could aggravate.
Yes. Now, the terrible part of this is that we know, and the nurses ought to know, that they provide essential services. Essential services has a very long route to possibly declaring strike and proceeding with that. So sometimes the mode and how they go about some of these things either suggests they don't understand the laws that they operate on, even the labor laws clearly, or they are deliberately putting the lives of people at risk in pursuance of some amount of money. And let's be clear, this is not their salary. This is allowance excess of the salary in this particular case.
Exactly, and it's localized to Damongo. So I'm wondering what the Ghana Registered Nurses Association has been doing about this, because I can't believe that one hospital in Damongo can stand up to the weight of GRNA as an association. So what have they been doing to support
their local group issued a statement yesterday that of course they outlined the same complaints and decided to proceed to say that they have the authority to proceed on this particular strike, because negotiations, not even at the arbitration level or any of the external bodies outside the healthcare system, have not been asked to deal with this matter. Just within their system, they feel that there's a need to go on strike.
Oh, you know what? A few meters away from, or a few kilometers away from Damongo in the northeast region, Fall Armyworm is back.
Yes, Fall Armyworm is back and is wreaking havoc, according to Mohamed Fugu, reporting from Bunkrugu, that many hectares of farms are being ravaged by fall armyworms now, and this is mainly happening in the northeast region, in districts such as the Bunkrugu district, the west, east and west Mamprusi municipalities, also in this region. This is where the fall armyworm is happening. The report is that in spite of governments, the Ministry of Agri's Food and Agriculture's declaration that they had sent out tons and tons of insecticides or pesticides, the fall armyworms are still ravaging many farms. And the reason is that by the agreement that the Minister of MOFA has agreed, each farmer is supposed to get chemicals for just 5 acres of land. And they explained that the ministry is unable to supply to commercial farmers, so they are supplying to peasant farmers. But even these peasant farmers are unable to get sufficient quantities to battle the fall armyworms in their farms. And in fact, the graphic is reporting that in some areas, the people have actually they've cleared all their farms because the armyworms have ravaged all their crops. So they have cleared the farms and replanted legumes like soya, which can withstand the fall armyworms, because the fall armyworms attack mainly maize. So when your farm is completely ravaged, so they go and plow the farm again, and then they replace the maize with legumes, soya and others, so that they can earn something at the end of the cropping season. The authorities in the area there, especially Bunkrugu and Nakpanduri, they don't even have any chemicals at all. And the municipal MOFA officer there said what they do is to just give the farmers technical advice. Now, when your farm is attacked by fall armyworms and the best you can get is technical advice, what will you do with that technical advice?
Very important question, especially since I remember interviewing an official stationed as the Ministry of Food and Agriculture last year, and he told me specifically during Joy News today that fall armyworm they have to accept has come to stay. So what they must do is manage it. So for the places where they know it will come out or it will surface, what are the remedial measures they've put there to ensure
That's exactly why a farmer at Langbinsi is telling the government that the perennial release of pesticides to deal with fall armyworm is not a sustainable solution. Because he said that last year his farm was attacked by fall armyworms and he lost everything. He was hopeful that this year he would be able to produce and feed his family. But again, his farm has been attacked. Now he doesn't know where to turn to.
Okay, let's quickly wrap up with these armed robbers who have gone to rob a shrine.
Yes, and this particular shrine is a meme in the Sunafunov municipality. This is in the Ahafo region. So the traditional priest in the shrine, together with a very big man in the community, who is also another leader, went out there to clearly stipulate that there's a problem. There's a problem with what has happened overnight. Apparently, when they went to sleep, the place was invaded. In fact, it actually engaged the people in the shrine were not carrying guns and ammunition, but the armed robbers who had masks on their face were carrying guns. They shot indiscriminately into the air and ended up having stray bullets hitting 2 people. The problem is that one of them died because they couldn't get transportation to the person to the hospital. The other person could find a way of taking the person to the hospital.
Okay.
So the person is at the Gosu municipal, the government hospital there, receiving treatment in this particular case. But I'm just wondering how anybody will be this brazen to attempt to, of all the
People are not afraid of things going in this country.
Yeah,
Anyway.
I thought it was only God we didn't fear. Now we don't fear even the shrines.
Malik. The online news review is where we go next. It's brought to you by Zenith Bank in your best interest and Goyle Good Energy. Make your day productive by relying on quality fuel from Goyle, your 3-time CIMG Petroleum Company of the Year. Goyle Super XP and Diesel XP are additive to enhance strong engine performance and prolong the lifespan of your vehicle. Above all, you are guaranteed extra quality with our fuel analyzer from our mobile laboratory van. Get your money's worth every day by buying fuel and lubricants from any of Goyle's over 367 stations nationwide and experience good energy. Buy Goyle, grow Ghana. Goyle, good energy. Goyle, Yenara Yedia. When it comes to traveling with ease and comfort, Zenith Bank's wide array of MasterCard and Visa cards will help you do just that. You can conveniently use your Zenith MasterCard and Visa cards at over 33 million Visa and MasterCard branded ATMs worldwide. On the internet for online purchases and payments, in-shop for payments of goods and services, at all Zenith Bank ATMs, and on local and international POS or retail outlets that accept Visa and MasterCard. Sign up today. Or if you already have one, use a Zenith MasterCard and Visa cards for a great travel experience. Go light with Zenith Bank. It's faster and smarter. Zenith Bank in your best interest. Nearly 800 kilograms of cocaine destined to Ghana seized. Senegalese customs authorities have seized nearly 800 kg of cocaine on a ship, according to officials. The cocaine was packed in travel bags hidden inside 50 new cars that arrived in Dakar from Senegal. It's reported that the cars were destined for Germany and Ghana. Nigerian pastor Biodun Fatoyimbo, who is at the center of a rape allegation which he denies, says he's taking a leave of absence from the pulpit of the church. Choice for childbirth to push or cut. That's one you want to read on myjoyonline.com. Rwandan sentenced in US for lying about genocide rule. That's on bbc.com. Speaking of which, the BBC News comes up shortly. But first,
Good energy powers the things that people